Before you get started with the lesson, let me give you a quick overview of how to use this series of videos. This is a series that covers Microsoft Office 2013 using documents, spreadsheets, and presentations. I'm a teacher. I work in Towson, Arizona at a high school called Westview High School. These assignments are selected to be exactly like what you would do in the real world. So using Office is what you'll use in a real office or in a real business. There is an assignment book that accompanies every video. Each page in the assignment book has a checklist of the things that you should accomplish in each lesson. Watch the video lesson to see how things are done. After you create your own document using the video as a model, you may have some modifications, such as your own business names or your own paragraphs or your own data, but it'll look very similar. Now you can either watch the whole video through at one time or pause it as you go through it. Finally, print the document and your classroom teacher will grade it. So now, let's move on to your next assignment.
Welcome to assignment number 3 with Microsoft Word. In this assignment, you will create a resume, probably a student resume, using your own skills and your own experiences. What you see on the screen in front of you is an example of a finished product. We're going to create a resume with a title that's centered, a photo, and then these lines here are noticeably different. They are formatted using a table. At the end of the document, you will see that there are some references, and then finally a single line that is not the same formatting as the other lines in the table. So I'm going to close this one and show you how to do it step by step. Let's start with a blank document with Microsoft Word, and let's create the title of your resume using your name. Press enter for each line. Press enter. You notice that the Word document automatically formats this as an email address. This is a clickable link now. That's fine. That's pretty standard. Now we want to center this, so I'm going to highlight all the lines that I've typed so far and just simply click the center button. There's a few other things about this that I'd like to change. For instance, these seem to be spaced a little far apart, so I'm going to highlight them and then click on this item here called Paragraph Settings. You notice that the spacing behind every paragraph is now set to 8 points. Well, actually, I'd like to set that to 0. And so now the lines are narrower. Max Smith needs to be a little bit bigger. That's my name, so let's make a bold or a larger size font. Also, I'm going to change the font for the entire document. Select here. This is, let's try, scroll down to find something that looks fairly standard. You don't want to get too fancy with your resume. So Times New Roman is about as standard as you can get. Click after Max Smith and you will be on the new line. Now the next part is going to show you how to create a table. I'm going to the Insert tab and choosing Table. Now in this table, what I'm going to create is a table that is 2 cells wide and 3 or 4 tall. Let's do 3. You see on the preview on the screen that a table is simply a series of boxes that you can type in. It organizes your typing. So let's start with our education. I'm going to press Tab. Now I'm going to say where I have my education. So Westview High School. A few details about your current studies. Now you notice what a table does is it allows you to keep clusters of text together. So we're showing that our education is on the right side, the title is merely on the left. The next section in your resume, let's talk about some electives that you're taking. What are some classes? Some classes that are sometimes unusual for a student to take. In this case, this student took art and computer technology. Let's talk about activities. What kind of activities do you do? Employees like to see people that are involved. Student government is a great way to show that you're an inspiring person, you're a leader. Baseball, band, those are talents as well that are relevant to high school students. Now, I've run out of room on my table. I'm going to simply press the Tab key and I get a new line. In this case, I'm going to write special interests or special skills and interests. Now mention a few things. press Enter after each item. Now you notice that I've listed a few skills that actual employers would care about. So, for instance, I work with children. Maybe I'm looking for a job as a daycare center or in a summer youth league or something like that. And so working with children is an important skill. I can teach younger players in physical education class. I can write effectively. That is always a good skill. I'm now good with Microsoft Word and Excel and PowerPoint. I can effectively manage, what does it say? Effective in selling magazines for a fundraising organization. And I manage the family recycling assignments. So these are not really things that you get on your diploma, but they are skills that are important that show that you are a responsible person. Now I've run out of room again, so I'm going to press Tab and create a new line. The next item that I'm going to write about is my volunteer service. Volunteer service will be very important for a student's resume. There's really no experience that you might have that was actual paid for work, but you can show that you are just as good as an employee by demonstrating or by listing some of the things that you've done. And so these are real jobs. Even though you may not get paid for them, they show that you know what to do when you're at work. Lastly, let's talk about your goals. What do you want to do in the future? Now, an employer would be interested to see your goals because you're going somewhere. And so you're going to major at college, you're going to look for employment somewhere. What do you do in your free time during the summer? What do you want to do? Not just play video games and hang out with friends. What kind of activities are leading you somewhere? The last item that would be important is your references. So list 2, perhaps 3 people, maybe teachers, especially supervisors, preferably people that work with you in your volunteer work. The last item that I'm going to put in here is called availability. Okay, now we've reached the end of our resume, and now we're going to do some formatting. This table doesn't really look like a resume yet. I'd like to show you that you can change the width of the table cells. I'm going to slide this one over. You can slide it left or right, depending on your preferences. Let's go as far to the left as we can. Now, there's some items that might need to be bolded. For instance, where did you work? I worked in the Park District. Let's choose bold for that. I'm going to highlight Sunrise Church Camp and bold that. Here's a few of my references. They're important. I'd like people to see their names. So bold a few things. I'd like to bold everything on the left column. Instead of bolding words one at a time, I can highlight from the letter E and just start sliding downward. And I highlight all of these and change them all to bold. Let's say I want to spread this item out. It says I'll be available. I'd like to merge this cell into that one. I'm going to highlight both cells, and there's going to be a merge option. If I right click here, I'm going to have this option called Merge Cells. And now as you look carefully, you can see that it is one wide cell. Even though it's in a table, the last cell now is different than the others. We could probably make this font a little bit bigger. It looks like there's plenty of room on the page, so let's try size 12. And now let's remove the borders. Let's remove them so that they don't look so black. And now I have a resume. One thing that's missing is the objective. What are you trying to do? What is your goal? So I'm going to go back and insert that after your name, after your email address. Click after your email address, press Enter, and let's change the alignment to left again and write the word objective. In this case, I'm writing that my objective is to help children at a summer sports camp, working up to 15 hours per week. I'm going to press Enter to leave some space there. Let's bold the objective. The last step is to put our photo in. So, let's go to Insert, choose Pictures. Hopefully you have a picture saved of yourself somewhere. If you don't, you can get it from Facebook or from your camera. Let's change the size of the photo. I'd like to crop the photo. I don't want to have everybody in the picture, I just want to have me. So I'm going to right click somewhere in the picture And there's an option that pops up called crop. Cropping lets you trim the picture down so that way you only get the parts you really need. I'm going to just give my headshot there. Click outside of the photo and now I have cropped it. The alignment is bad, so I'm going to change that to square and slide it up into the corner of my page, about right there. What else could we modify? Perhaps the font size is still too small. Let's make it all a little bit bigger. And it looks like I'm about ready to print now. One more blank line in there. And hopefully I'll get a job.